Alright guys, welcome back to another Warframe video. So in the last video, we were doing our first jump into the Deviri circuit side of the game, which was the first kind of try at going after one of the frames you can get every week as it rotates. And I played, roughly halfway through the requirement, and I believe I was going for Trinity, but I did finish that up in the background as background work, so I will jump back over in. We have a lot of stuff in the Foundry probably to pick up now. Yep, Atlas is ready. Let's see if we have enough Warframe slots or if we have to purchase some more. Atlas is ready. We're good. Sevagoth is ready. We're good. Inaros, yes, I would like to buy a slot for 20. Let's pick up Inaros. Boban, yes, I would like to buy a slot for 20. Pick up Boban. Wukong, yes, I would like to buy a slot for 20. Wukong. Ooh, I'm getting low on platinum for slots here. Let's go ahead and claim our Trinity parts as well. I did complete it. So now I should be able to craft Trinity as well. So we're going to get that going real quick. Trinity. Let's craft Trinity. Yes, for sure. Alright, yeah, I can deal with that the next time that I need to. It's not a problem for the immediate here and now. But yeah, let's go take a peek at how large the unplayed, untested Warframe pile is now. Should be quite a bit heavier. Atlas, Equinox have still yet to touch. I'm interested to see them. It just sounds way more complicated than all the other frames. I'm not going to skip them. I am going to get to that eventually. Limbo, Inaros, we just picked up. Neja, we've had for a while. Sevagoth, Vauban, and Wukong. I think for me, I'm going to start with Wukong today. We are doing a first impression video. This is another one that I've kind of been just sleeping on getting it going. Very early on in the game, I had a lot of people saying, hey, if you like Rhino, you should really check out Wukong. You know, that was before I even knew about the dojo.
Into chaos. Check navigation for active invasions.
I got it. Thank you, Lotus. So yeah, Wukong is where we're going to be starting today for a first impression. That is not what I expected them to look like based on the picture you see here. That's interesting. So what I'm going to do, as ever, I'm going to just take a quick minute. I'm going to do a quick customization. Then I'm going to cut, and we're going to probably grab some other new gear. I have a couple other pieces I've yet to use, and as ever, jump into Sanctuary Onslaught so we can get them ranked up and get them tested and see what we think. So, quick cut, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, I just finished doing my customization here on Wukong. I haven't done the Ignis Wraith yet. As you can see, that's going to be the first weapon I'm going to bring in. But we went with this kind of black, white, purple, and gold accent color scheme. I honestly really like that. I think that looks sharp. So let's just do the basics first. Let's jump in. We'll get their upgrades.
Action.
Alright, let's see. They take one like that. So yeah, I mean, that's not going to make much sense because I'm not bringing a melee in anyway. Looks like their energy is already pretty low, so frankly something like Dreamer's Bond, energy, maybe Energy Siphon would make a bit more sense. Armor, shield, health. I may adjust this based on what I see when I get into their kind of kit. What would happen if I chose that instead? Okay, yeah, that's a lot more points. That probably makes the most sense. Even though it's half, 0.3 versus 0.6 per second, it's so relatively low that, I mean, whatever. We'll see. We'll see what we think. At any rate, that's going to be our starting Aramod. So let's just see. They've got one of these. Equilibrium would probably not be a bad one to start. Energy Siphon, obviously. Yeah, I know I chose Dreamer's Bond. Ability efficiency, max energy is definitely going to be useful. So let's just get flow on. I think that's as good a place to start as any. Streamline will, of course, let stuff cost less. Okay, so we can skip the rest of those for now. I may come back to equilibrium. Let's just see if we have any that match that polarity here. Looking at their numbers, it looks like they have a lot of health, decent shield, decent armor. Energy is really where they were lacking. So I haven't even read about their abilities yet. I guess we could do that from here real quick. After taking fatal damage, automatically use a survival technique. Can only be invoked 3 times per mission. That's a pretty strong passive. Shedding part of himself, you create a twin to fight by your side. Attack at range, the twin will melee. Pull a blade, the twin will lay down covering fire. Wow, that's actually clever. Use again to command the twin to attack a target with increased damage. Get a health multiplier and a damage boost. The drain is 25. I guess that's for, well, is that per second? It doesn't insinuate that it's per second or that it's at a set duration. That's what's kind of interesting about that. Maybe it's just until the twin is eliminated. I have no idea. Cloudwalker. Evaporate in a cloud of mist. Float through the battlefield, dazing any enemies while healing Wukong and his twin. Okay, so that makes a bit of sense. Health per meter, 0.5%. 5 meter stun radius that lasts for 2 seconds. Okay. Wukong and his twin become invulnerable, defy enemies to attack. All damage is captured, stored, and dealt back in a single furious strike of his staff. Bonus armor is granted relative to the damage captured. Now that sounds pretty strong. You get 2 seconds of invulnerability, a 4 times damage multiplier, pretty decent radius there. Get 15 seconds on the damage bonus, or the bonus armor, and then you also get a 0.8x armor multiplier. So I'm guessing strength would boost all of that. Summon the staff and unleash fury. That does impact and slash, I believe that is. Drain is 10 and energy per second is 5. Okay. So yeah, let's see for something that would fit that. What might make sense? Nope, we don't want to do that. We could go duration with slightly lower range. Let's see what happens if I popped that on. What that does to these down here. So that gains almost another full second on the Cloudwalker. I don't know how big of a deal that is. The invulnerability time, same thing, also gets about a second. Does take down the distance, but we can counteract that. And that gives us much more, time on each drain. So something like narrow-minded seems like that actually might be a pretty good fit here, guys. So that's all the ones that fit with the correct polarity. Whoops. Let me jump back in, and we're gonna just check for... Yeah, we could do even greater duration with this. Let's see what that does. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good bump. So drain per second, 2.86. Yeah, that definitely is continuing to boost stuff up. That gives us another half a second. I mean, is that half a second really that integral? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Maybe a little tough to say. Why don't I take that off and let's go with intensify. That does give a better health multiplier boost and a health, done back per. The damage multiplier definitely goes up with that, so that's pretty big. Armor multiplier also goes up. And the damage goes up on that. So I'm thinking, yeah, Intensify is probably going to be a pretty good call on this frame. That's not a bad setup to start. Decent energy now. Their shield, Equilibrium, I'm still not sure about. I mean, we have 6 points. I could throw something basic in here. We've got narrow-minded, which took a little range off. Do I have a basic stretch I could throw on here? Where is a basic stretch? And if I do, what does it cost? Stretch. It only costs 4. That will counteract some of the range loss. We'll see how big of a difference that makes. Okay, yeah, so it doesn't look like a lot on paper, but it definitely does help a little bit. I mean, maybe that's not a bad place to start, guys. I'm sure I could probably tweak a couple things, but this is unranked. I'm just throwing it in for the first test. I think that that's okay. We'll see when we get in there, I suppose. The next thing is obviously the Ignis Wraith. Now, this is a weapon that took me forever to get, that people told me months ago, hey, that's a really solid weapon. You could argue one of the better ones in the game, and it can carry you into higher level content. So I'm definitely curious to see what this thing is about. Obviously, I think Serration has just got to be the basic throw-on on any weapon. So it's a heat damage base, which makes sense. It seems like it's probably a flamethrower. You know, it doesn't have huge crit chance, but it's got a pretty decent crit multiplier. So maybe getting something built up into crit for it to have a higher chance to proc a crit would be probably pretty good. Something like split chamber. Let's see, what would that even do on a flamethrower? Yeah, that doesn't even, yeah. Oh, well, actually, let's see, do I have a basic split chamber that's not built up all the way? Let's just see, does that even apply? Okay, it does. That's interesting. I didn't expect that. What's wildfire? Plus magazine, plus 15 on heat. That seems like that is almost a custom tailored mod for the Ignis Wraith. So we're definitely going to be considering that one. Let's just start though with Serration, get our base damage up. That's 99, that's 150. Yeah, I mean, the amalgam is nice. Gives you a little sprint speed in the background. It's just it costs so much endo to boost up, and this is already 50 plus, slightly over 50% stronger, 50 point, you know, 1 or something like that, 50.05. But at any rate, that's where we're going to start on the Ignis Wraith. I'm going to do a quick little appearance. I'll probably just cut this out. Okay, and Ignis Wraith is maxed up. I don't have any new melees to bring in. I think I only have 1, maybe 2 more weapons. I think I have 1 secondary, and this might be the last primary I have, guys. So it's not going to be that long. But let's just go back fully, check the abilities from here so we can see it nice and full screen. Plus we get to see this wonderful little cutscene like they always do. So he's holding on to his staff, looking down upon a pile of enemies that he has rendered out of the fight, it seems. I like that color scheme. That looks cool. I like it. Alright. Yep. Invoke 3 times. Celestial Twin. That's right. If I shoot, he slashes. If I slash, he shoots. Yep. Days heal the twin, so you can use 2 to pump health back on to the twin cast by 1. This is the invulnerability with the big smack at the end. And then that's the big staff just go nuts on people. Okay, let's just check the tips. Oftentimes there's stuff in here that isn't obvious, so I'm just going to take a quick minute and read through this. All right, so that's it, guys. We're going to jump right in and get our first impression of Wukong, as well as the Ignis Wraith, and start getting some levels on that as well. So let's just jump right in. Head over to Sanctuary Onslaught. Oh, right there, Syndicate. And see what Wukong's about. Yeah, this seems to do okay damage, this Ignis Wraith. Well, that's a really neat ability. Alright, cool. So far, so good. Alright, they're clearly handling all the business down there.
I will consider what I've learned from this skirmish.
Yeah, his kit's feeling pretty useful. Pretty useful. No denying that.
A new data conduit. Proceed immediately.
Basically getting a freebie Warframe while you're in here playing with him with his duplicate. That's actually pretty nutty. That's really strong. Really strong. Okay, Twin. Alright, now Defy, this is the one that will give us some overshield, I think. I feel like I probably didn't cast that correctly. Or use it correctly once it was cast. I'll have to play around with that. See if we can find somewhere to try it again. He's gonna whack. Yeah, at the end of it. Okay. Somebody's spinning in a circle. Hey now. Whoops. Not at all what I was trying to do. That's okay. Come on, Twin. Now, I guess since I'm only using Ignis Wraith, he's also only going to be using Ignis Wraith since I don't have a melee for him to swap to. So that absolutely tracks. Which does indeed make perfect sense.
A new data conduit is open. Our experiment moves to a new zone.
Yes, we know. We know. And we'll move to that experiment. He's just hanging out over here blasting people with a flamethrower. Okay, so far so good. I would like to try to get, yeah, how do I do this? The recast, is it A? Because I was supposed to set a priority target by just recasting that again. Not sure if on the Xbox controller I have to hold it and cycle, or if I can just hover and then tap. Not entirely certain. Yeah, so there is a bit of a delay on that. I think caused to the extended duration, probably. So maybe that ability duration isn't the best. But, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, I imagine the Ignis Wraith is great against infested, being that they're susceptible to heat damage. Well, we're making pretty quick work through this. Here's another thing I'm noticing about the Ignis. I could be wrong, but it just seems like it's just kind of a hipfire weapon. Like, really no need to ADS. I don't know if I actually target a head, will it do more damage than, say, a body shot? A little tough to say. Maybe it does. Yeah, I guess you can still kind of aim the scream at their head. May as well just mercy him. Yeah, we've got to get the strength on this up a bit. And whack. It's a classic point and shoot adventure game. All right. Wukong's a 9. We're getting close. Close to getting 4 unlocked. Oh, no, we can't float over there. But we can float through there. So yeah, it definitely does more damage if you aim at their head. But you can easily just use this as a big crowd sweeper by just hip firing. No problem. Good to have that confirmation, though.
Enter the conduit now.
Sure. We'll keep going. Yeah, this definitely seems like a pretty good call against Infested, this weapon. That's right. You burned those Infested. Let's burn this guy. Yeah. All right. Oh, now we go some mob. No explosions. Not today. We get stuck. That's beautiful. So yeah, you can see the stats of your buddy that you cast down at the bottom. So if in doubt, just check the bottom right corner. This guy is just spinning around the room, shooting Lord knows what. I don't know what ability that is, but it seems really strong. And it's going forever. We're taking him down. That's right.
Hunter, you are running out of time.
I know. I hear you. I hear you, Simmers. Okay, so now we can cast this. Oh. Well, I almost got to test it. Yeah, of course. Yep, there. So now I got some invisibility to save me. So you don't actually go down. You just immediately jump into a state of, hey, let's murk this guy. This is actually a super interesting kit. I know that's gonna hit me, yeah. Okay, so that's the second time I've saved my own skin. Yeah, we can drop down here. That's fine. Definitely not strong enough to make it through here on our own without more ranks on weapons and stuff. Oh, what do we have back here? Just a random opening. It's fine. Oh yeah? You want to chase me? Is that right? Just waiting on the efficiency to run out so the timer finishes.
A new data conduit is open.
How is that even possible?
To a new zone. Efficiency is crucial to this experiment's design. Work faster! Hunter, you are running out of time. Enter the data conduit.
Nah, we're good. We're good. There we go. I just want to make sure we got credit for
Sanctuary will
completing
go
it.
on without you.
3 relics from that? Really? That's crazy. Ignis is already maxed. His staff is up to rank 22. It'd be interesting to see what we can do with that staff. That's actually awesome. That's actually awesome. All right, so let's jump back in. After my first little jump in there, I gotta say I like this kit. I'm not positive how I want to tweak the mods on it. But I'm definitely going to go back and reread a couple things. So first things first, let's check out this Iron Staff. Let's go to Upgrade. Primal Fury. Summon the Iron Fury. Sure. Okay, so let's start by throwing points on that. Oh. It's going to be one of those that just naturally upgrades over time, I bet. Yeah, because if it... Yeah, there's another one that was kind of like this that I did before. Okay, that's fine. Melee damage per status type affecting the target. Well,
Operator,
that could be
Otis is
huge.
sorry. Happy to report that all my good jokes are gone.
Yeah, why don't we try that? Then maybe we can get some status effects on various weapons that we're using. So maybe we could put some on that's per damage per status type. So if we could get a couple different types, that seems like it could be strong, but maybe there's a different way to do this. Crit chance, crit multiplier. So base melee damage, that would of course make this hit even stronger. Okay, so that's going to be important. Pressure point, sacrificial steel is crit chance. What are the others? True steel, right? Crit chance, that costs 9 versus that costing 11. The extra bonus in that is for sentience. So let's just see what that jumps up to if we pop that on. 55, so now this thing could pretty much turn into a pretty good crit monster here. That's greater than a 1 in 2 chance with every hit that it crits. So crit damage, that would bump from 2 times to 3.8. Now this would be, see, we can take this off. That's not going to impact anything because it's dependent on procs for various status. So I think what we need to do from here is probably put some kind of status effect on here. Cold, maybe. I kind of would like to get, yeah, like Fever Strike plus, that still gives us 12. Plus, where's Electric? Yeah, Shocking Touch. That still leaves us 6. So that gives us Corrosive. Plus, what else could we get on here? With 6 points left, probably not much. Nah, we don't need any of that. We don't need any of that. Condition Overload, I'm still really liking as a mod. You know what, though? We have 1 status. Will it let me? That's not quite enough. I could put a base melee damage per status type. So that will just keep stacking depending on the number of... So with this one on in its current state, it's going to give me plus 26.7 every time that corrosive pops on. If I added another status type, I presume it would add it and it stacks, since it says per type affecting the target. So if we used a maxed out one that goes plus 80... that can end up being pretty huge. We've still got 8 ranks to go. So the question is, do I have enough points to play around? Actually, it's already got the... okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then we could polarize to adjust another polarity to drop a few more points back in the till. Okay, so I think that's where I'm going to leave the staff for now. Though, you know, let's just make this look the same with the rest of our theme. All right, so that's our staff. Ignis Wraith is maxed already, which is just kind of nutty. So let's, from there, we were going to go multi-shot. I mean, it's not really hitting that hard if you really look at the base numbers. Yeah, maybe we should try to get the crit up. I feel like that maybe would be more important. I know it doesn't have a very good crit, but it does have a good multiplier. So let's just dump in... where is it? That's status duration. We know we want this one on. In fact, we're going to boost that all the way up. Let's do that right now. This is the one that feels like it was made for this weapon. Let's see what that does to the numbers. Yeah. Gives us a little extra capacity, plus 60% on the heat. I'm good with that. What I would like to do is get a crit chance. I forget the name of that mod. Crit chance, point strike. There we go. Is that the only point strike that I have? That can't be right. Oh, I've got 38. I feel like that's in some other builds. Let's just take a fresh one and bump it. Wait, what's that say? I'm not entirely certain. So now we've got just under a 50% chance to crit. We've got way more percent heat damage on there. We've got a huge multiplier when it does crit. And we have 5 points left in the till. I wonder, does punch through do anything for this? I don't think so, because I think that's just moving through one target into something else. The way that this weapon functions, I feel like that would be a squandered mod. Feel like it's not that important. I could be wrong. Let's see if there's anything else with 5. We could obviously do one of the basic Bane, or one tier up Bane of whatever. Pick one. Bane of Corpus for little extra damage boost against them. I wonder, does that damage me if I'm near the explosion? I have no idea. I've never used that mod, I don't think. Status duration. I mean, on this weapon, does that actually matter? Probably not that much. This almost sounds more interesting. See if there's anything else punch through. I really don't think I need that. Nope, none of those, none of those. What is rupture? Yeah, impact we don't need. No. So why don't I take this? I'm going to bump that one. Whoops. Combustion beam. I don't know if this will damage us if we're in proximity to it when they explode. Well, that just bumped up plus 200. Yeah, so that bumps pretty nicely on each one that you do. So maybe this is a really horrible setup, but this is how I'm setting up my Ignis Wraith. For better or for worse, that's where I have it. That's going to be that's going to be the setup for Ignis. And oh wait,
Covered in blood.
probably need to
Safe
upgrade
answer.
Wukong before we jump in as well. Okay, I'm got up to 5 points left. We've got narrow-minded. We've got. How is that only 7 on continuity? That doesn't make sense. Do I have 1 tier less fast deflection? I'm not sure it's necessarily needed on Wukong if you use his abilities correctly. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Duration? His efficiency would be nice. Streamline, yeah, but we need 7 for that. Why don't we just... Actually, I kind of feel like a higher tier stretch to offset the reduction in his range that we did before would make even more sense. Yeah, that's much better. Yeah, I don't want it to be so small. I mean, maybe it matters, maybe it doesn't matter that much, but either way, that'll get us at least back up to some modicum of having some range on there. We could always add a little additional strength. I know I have another mod that does it. What is Augur Mess? It's just duration. But efficiency, so we could... I mean, his energy isn't bad, but I do like efficiency for a lot of reasons. I mean, everything just costs less to cast. We could do additional strength, take some of that duration off that we threw in. There's a lot of ways to go about this. Yeah, once you get these really powerful mods, it's just kind of figuring out exactly what makes the most sense for the build. So we'll leave it at that for now. Efficiency might come into the picture. It might not matter at all. But I'm thinking that this might be another good one. Anything that can add strength seems like it's normally going to be good in most builds, but I guess it just kind of depends on what abilities it is you're using. Either way, I'm not going to mess around with this too much more. We've tapped our points, so let's just jump back in. We'll see if we can get the twin gremlins worked up and get a few more levels on Wukong. So we're going to jump back in. We'll see if he feels any different. Not sure what enemies these are we're fighting, but they look very interesting. Oh, I think it's some status effect that somebody has applied to them. Is that citrine? I'm guessing so with the crystal looking stuff. Yeah, this staff is pretty gnarly. I mean, you just kind of fly around ditching it out. Oh yeah? Is that what you wanted to do? like, now you see Ignis, now you don't.
A data conduit is open. Go now.
Sure, we can do that. I mean, we don't need the twin gremlins, but we'll go one more round. There's some energy. Now. That's right, Wukong. Beat them with your stick. Yeah, I gotta say, this stick is pretty ridiculous. And I feel like I was pretty much spot on. Like, hey, yeah, as soon as you can use the stick, use the stick. I see you. I see you too. Okay, so far, so good. Don't you even think about it.
A new data conduit is open. Our experiment moves to a new
That's
zone.
okay. I think we'll call it there. Got a good sense of what's up with Wukong. I like him. His kit seems very good.
Conduit is closing fast.
Very useful. This one is particularly ridiculous. I see why people were saying Wukong is great for spy missions. That ability alone right there.
The
Pretty silly.
Sanctuary will go
In a
on
good way.
without you.
And somehow they just keep throwing relics at us for doing this. This is great. Loading back on relics is always a good thing. The staff is maxed. The gremlins are maxed. Wukong is nearly there. Okay, guys, so I am going to back out of that group. Yep, it was Citrine. Oh, and Titania Prime. Nice. So, we're going to jump back in one more time. We're going to take a quick peek. At Wukong,
You have
we've got
remembered
12
well
points.
How the Tenno arm themselves.
Let's double check. That's based on drain per second. This would just give the armor bump. So if I can cast 3 in the middle of a big group of enemies, okay. Yeah, so I do actually think that duration might be pretty decent. That would give me even longer on the armor for 3, and it would give me even longer time and in turn distance, I think. Yeah, on 2. So it's a question of, do I think
If
that's the
lost,
most
bomb
important?
planes outside sea-
We could go status chance, I suppose, which would help feed into that. That's not bad. I'm okay with that, and that leaves us 8 points. I mean, what else do we need? We could do another slight bit. I think I have a higher Carnus Mandible. Yeah, we could throw another. That slash is not going to override our corrosive. That could go even higher crit damage, though. Fury would actually be pretty funny. I'm thinking strictly for, you know, this 4 ability, because obviously this is the staff for it. So, status chance or crit damage? I think crit damage. I think with melee prowess... Oh, wait. Gladiator might? Because it takes 9. Oh, no. Do I only have 1 gladiator might, though? Do I have another version of that? I'm not sure. Ah, it's the only one I've got. Okay, well... What is this? No. Yeah, we've already got a maxed organ shatter. I guess I could throw, say, like life strike when and if I'm using heavies with it. Nope, we don't want slash. We don't want puncture. Don't really want any of that. Really what I want is gladiator might. You know what? Why don't I take that melee prowess off? Let's put gladiator might on, and then we'll find a lower ranked melee prowess. I mean, it's still nearly 50%. That's still a big enough bump. Yeah, I'd rather have that extra crit. I mean, when it crits, it's really going to be smacking. I think that's a decent setup for that, guys. So yeah, that's where we're going to leave it. You know, Twin Gremlins is maxed up. It fulfilled its MR fodder purposes. So yeah, guys, my first impression of Wukong is really good kit. Yeah, glad I finally got my hands on him and able to test him out. He's got a lot of stuff up his sleeves that is good for survivability. Being able to throw on armor with his 3, quickly get out of a sticky situation with his 2, have basically a duplicate of himself fighting alongside him basically the whole time you're playing with his 1, and then the 4 that just decimates everything. This is a really, really strong Warframe. That's my first takeaway. And I'm sure that this is not really even an optimized setup that I have here. I feel like it's okay, but yeah, I mean, my thoughts are this is a really, really strong Warframe. I'm a big fan. It's very fun to use. Gives you a lot of different ways that you can play it. But yeah, I'm glad I finally took the time to get the resources to spend to get this one out. I really, really like this frame. I'm going to be playing with this one for a little bit here. Just kind of get more comfortable with it, kind of figure out the rotation of abilities that I like. But in the next video, of course, we're going to be moving on to something else. But I am going to stick with Wukong. I really like him. Very, very, very fun to frame. Y'all were not wrong. I appreciate the suggestion. It's ridiculous it took me this long to finally get it done. But I guess better late than never. So yeah, my first impression of Wukong is great frame. I'm a big fan. It feels really good to play. It's very fun to play. And yeah, really seems really good for survivability and being able to put the damage out when you need it. That's my takeaway, guys. So as always, I do sincerely appreciate you checking in. On the next one, we are going to be moving on to something else. I might go down Zaramon. We might jump back into Deviri if it's a new weekly reset by the time I get there. Either way, we're going to be doing something fun and interesting, and we have another story mission right around the corner. Don't know exactly which one yet. I'm down to the final clusters, so we will see. But either way, that is going to do it for today's video. Guys, as always, I appreciate it. We will catch ya on the next one.